This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back is all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Head chef on the way. Ted's Meat and Potatoes has some cooking rules that people ignore. But first, time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Jump right into the birthdays. All the guys, I want to give my sexy wife, Courtney, pronounced Corky, some happy birthday loving over the men's room airwaves. Can I please get a what the hell is that, Jay, followed by a fish sandwich and the Dirty Germans giving some advice about what our night in a Cannon Beach resort should entail. You get the idea. Take her easy, that from Jay Bird.
Oh my God, what the is that, bro?
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
Yeah, if you're going to be in Cannon Beach, you try to live up to the name. You fire your cannon into a salty beach.
Yeah, I think that just you two down there for the birthday celebration, you will be helping the town smell more like fish and salt water. Musky.
You ever been there?
I have not been to Cannon Beach.
You'd love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, brilliant.
I've actually been in the Oregon coast.
Said you have not been there.
Nope.
You know what? I haven't either. But, we've only been there for 17 years.
Correct.
So when I can find a minute,
I think
I'll be sure to get down.
It's a cool place.
I'm sure it is, but I'm going like the opposite way. Going to Montana in the summer.
Oh,
that would be cool, too. Never done that. Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's my husband Richard's big 40th birthday today, and I know he would love a shout-out from his favorite dudes who we listen to all the time. Rich, happy birthday from your wife, Lindsay, and two awesome kiddos. We love you. How about a fish sandwich barbershop style and the Dirty Germans talking about turning old and 40? Thanks, my dudes. That's from Lindsay.
For a fish sandwich, cheese and tartar on the side. I smell the fish sandwich, maybe some dill relish in the morning, at noon, and at night. And at night.
Yeah, you're turning 40 years old. You're right on that brink of possibly having a midlife crisis. You don't need to buy a new sports car. Simply go from Richard to Dick.
Yeah, I don't know what sauce this talk is about 40 being old.
Midlife crisis old.
Seems crazy to me. So I think you're fine, Rich.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Think about a couple extra emails. Big Dummy Rule suggestion. Here we are on Big Dummy Day. All the guys have a Big Dummy Rule change suggestion. What if moving forward, once you surpass the sitting dummy, you stop there? For an example, right now, Danny is at 16. Mm-hmm. So if I were playing the game and I would go to 17, I am the new champion, but I am done at 17.
You're a new dummy.
That's just one over the previous champ. I believe this rule will discourage people from trying to fake it. And also I have doubts on when shopping at Safeway now for some reason. Sounders rule that from the meter reader from Monroe.
I think people will still try to fake it. I really do. And to me, it's not a bad rule. This is just my thought, and I can be overruled on this. But, look, if the next person who's the biggest dummy, it takes them 22 questions or whatever the hell it is, then that's the new benchmark, man.
I'm with you.
Like that. Look, if I beat your team 15-3 in our last football game, I'm not going to go for 16. If I can beat you 800-2, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and, she ain't faking it.
Yeah, I was going to say. Some people, we get a sense Danny was not faking.
Mm-hmm. No. And, no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she tried. She definitely did. I thought Renee was going to give it a run today, but family drama is the email. Good morning, gentlemen. First of all, your show's amazing. TV Time with Ted is my favorite, and I enjoy chatting with Ted on the Facebook.
From Ted?
Now and again, yes, signed Ted Smith. First time I sent an email, guys. I got into your show when I was in the Army of Washington. Listen to the Men's Room on the podcast now because I moved to Maryland. My grandparents had 15 kids.
Jesus.
To give you an idea, me and my youngest uncle are 9 years apart. My grandfather, who had 15 kids, was an immigrant, Korean War veteran, and worked the railroad. My uncle once told me, "Do you believe he had a stroke?" To which I replied, "Yeah." As you can imagine, in a big family, there is no shortage of drama. My aunt was a single mother and decided to bring her kids to our house so they could learn discipline. You see, my father, who everyone, even non-family, called Pops, worked his entire life in several roles, but all were manual labor. Paid well, but hard work. His jobs included lumberjack, construction worker, bouncer, and fighter for hire. He also played sports well into his 40s. Very athletic, stood 6'6". Other than that, great attitude, quiet guy, heavy drinker. He was a cool guy, left us alone growing up, but anyone that got in his way, anything, he handled it with physical violence, and we were no exception. Is it abuse if you deserve to get your ass kicked? Seemed to be his parenting philosophy. I guess my aunt thought this was discipline. Well, Pops was drinking in the kitchen, listening to Vietnam protest music by Country Joe and the Fish. This was typical of him. My aunt and my cousin decided this was a great time to argue. Pops just watched until the argument got heated, and my cousin threatened to slap her. My cousin, 15 at the time, was claiming to be a man. Pops laughed, told him, you don't hit girls. But he was welcome to hit him if he wanted to actually hit somebody. Well, my cousin pointed out this would not be a fair fight. Otherwise, he would, of course, fight him. So Pops, he walked right past him and picked up his wooden baseball bat. My cousin protested, saying now the fight was absolutely not fair. Pops listened patiently to his rant and calmly said, "The bat isn't for me, it's for you." And he held it out for him. The entire time he hadn't put his Miller Lite bottle down. My cousin, no longer that sure of himself, took the bat from Pops. Pops said, "You get a free hit. For your sake, make it a homer. I doubt you can even get this beer out of my hand, though." Ooh. My cousin continued staring at the bat, and Pops took a pull off his beer. He said, "Any day now, hit me, or put it down and sit down and just shut up." Well, my cousin swung this bat. I'm sure it would have been a homer. The bat cracked, but did not completely break. Pop's head went down, and down with the bat, and I thought for sure he was going down. He didn't. He didn't even stumble. It's as if he'd done this before. Then it hit me. He had. He moved 1 foot back for balance, didn't spill a drop of the Miller Lite, but in a smooth motion, put it down on the floor as his head went left and down. It was a blur from there, but my cousin went through the oak kitchen table my mom adored, through the kitchen window, and was left beaten on the porch. Pops picked up his beer and said, "Men don't hit women," or even suggested, "Get your ass together." And went back to listening to his Country Joe and the Fish and drinking his 12-pack. My aunt got her kids around at that point in time and left. I don't think she liked that type of discipline. I was younger than my sister. My sister was younger than me. Pops got another beer. He calmly said, "Sorry you had to see that," to my sister. This isn't the only story I have about family drama or Pops whipping someone's ass, but it's the one I thought I'd share. Guy's kind of a badass.
I feel like if someone's handing me the bat, like, oh, it's for you. Like, you know what? Whatever I said, let's let it go.
I have seen one of my buddy's dads once. Somebody was in the house, the same thing, just running their mouth, and they were just wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But oftentimes, especially today, people are wrong, but they're very confident.
Sure.
And finally, his dad, who hadn't said a word in half an hour, just looked at him and said, "Get out of my house."
Mm-hmm. Dude, get up and leave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was welcome back the next day, but he was just like, "I'm tired of your ass tonight.
Right now?
Like, we're not going through this.
Get the hell out." Yeah.
Time to open wide and sample Ted's meat and potatoes. Now, here's your host, head chef of the men's room, the Ted Nugent.
The head chef is in the house.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. You guys have any cooking rules you live by that you refuse to break?
I think I'm very much a get my pan hot first guy. Not everyone does that.
Keep your knife sharp.
Short, yeah, stuff like that.
Couple little things.
So these are a list of rules, quote-unquote rules, that people always ignore. And frankly, some of them aren't that crazy to me.
All right, okay.
And you'll probably agree with them a lot. Number 10 on the list, they say don't mix seafood and cheese.
I mean, it's up to you.
It depends.
But traditionally, I do not think it's a very good combination. But if you're one of those odd people that likes it, do your thing. But yeah, traditionally, I don't. Mm-hmm. There's like a tuna melt, but that never really seems to fall under seafood. But otherwise, like, Do you eat shrimp with cheese?
It depends on it depends on what your definition of cheese is. So a lot of people
Parmesan, yes.
Yeah, if you do a traditional crab dip, a lot of times that base will be Philadelphia cream cheese.
Sure.
So as far
that's what I say. Like there's crab dips.
I mean, even the McDonald's filet of fish sandwich with a piece of cheese on it is what it is. But
I think maybe we just have this rule because cheese isn't often or offered with seafood enough.
Yeah, traditionally is not. But now that I'm thinking about it, if you're kind of eating them separate, like if I had seafood and like cheese sitting on my plate, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, like crab dip's just the first one that comes to my mind.
Cheddar Bay biscuits. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure almost everybody loves a crab wonton or
rangoon.
Ooh, you know what else? Oh man, it's really hard to find. But we talk about salads all the time. Shrimp salad is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Shrimp salad sandwich is fantastic, and it often has a piece of cheese if you get it, like and say
if you get a sandwich, yeah.
If you get a shop in Glen Burnie where they sell the shrimp salad sandwiches, lettuce, tomato, cheese, shrimp.
We always just made it at home if you got steamed shrimp. You'd always put a couple to the side and then chop it up and make it at home.
Yep.
Let's see.
Lobster mac and cheese, lobster ravioli, shrimp and cheesy grits.
That's what I'm saying. Especially now, like, one of the ones I never saw was seafood and pork. And then I started eating a lot more, like, dumplings. And they mix seafood and pork all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little shrimp, little pork, mix them together.
Which is also weird as I talk out loud because when I was growing up in Maryland, if we got crabs, we always had a rack of ribs on the side.
It's a good point, man.
Well, those places were
Don't mix these together. But we're going to do it every time we get together.
We would get them.
Yeah. Anything where you can do coleslaw or any of those things that are like summer outdoor foods seems to mix.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like you just don't put cheese on like fish and chips. But there's no place to put the cheese.
And it's not like you order grouper and get like a slice of American cheese put on top.
Correct. These are rules that people ignore. Sifting flour.
I think if you're a baker, that makes a lot more sense. And then bakers are so precise if you know how to bake. And that's typically why I think people who bake are better cooks than not. But people who can cook and can't bake,
I don't sift flour.
There's some weird
Even
thing
when it
there
says sift flour, I'm like, no, how much flour does it need? If it needs a quarter cup, here's a quarter cup. Did you sift it?
Right.
Sure.
I don't know. I never bake. Like, I always just cook stuff. If I had flour, it's just to thicken something up.
I only did it at restaurants when I was cooking, but after that, because, everyone's staring at you, you need to sift it. But even then, I'm sure there's a benefit to it. But in all my years of cooking that, I was like, I don't care.
I've been dusting my chicken wings, though, in some flour. What a difference maker that is.
You dredging them?
After I season them first when they're just by themselves. And after I season them, I put them in flour, which is salt and pepper.
All right.
It's making the difference. I'm telling you, Ted. You don't even really taste the breading. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking cornstarch eventually.
Using a particular color of onion. Some use whatever they just have on hand.
I do basically go with the onion colors only because the tastes are so different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have a yellow onion versus a red onion versus a green onion.
To me, red onion sticks out. But for a lot of recipes, to me, if it's a yellow, white, or a shallot, I don't think I could tell a ton.
Yellow or white, I don't care because you're right. Typically, you're cooking that down. Red onion seems like they really get cooked.
Yeah,
red
is the raw onion. Even though a shallot is almost like a mini red onion.
Sure.
But if you still cook a shallot, it seems more than not. So you can do it.
I'm with you. If you get raw onions, it almost always is a red onion. Mm-hmm. And it's almost always on a burger. They say measuring dried spices. It could be a nice guide, but spice level is subjective.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah,
I don't take out the little teaspoon thing.
No, I don't measure spice.
I'd go for it.
Well, in some recipes you might really like, but I still struggle a little bit with allspice. So if I have a recipe that calls
I'll use less.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to use less of that because I'm just to me it just overpowers everything.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I understand sometimes why it needs to be in a recipe, but I want as little as possible.
Fresh herbs in a recipe. Subbing in dry herbs is easier and cheaper.
That is a fact. If you have fresh herbs, that's great. Use them. If you do not, I think you might not want to cook with fresh herbs. So if you're going to accompany them with a salad or something like that, or put them on top of your finished product, whether it's pasta, if it's fresh basil or whatever, that seems to pop a little bit better than cooking it down. But either way.
Well, they're saying if you're cooking, I'm with you. I always use dry ones.
If I have, but the only fresh herbs we traditionally have is basil and cilantro.
Mint sometimes.
But if I have fresh mint, it's because there's a recipe that we plan on making. Like basil and cilantro are pretty well on hand all the time, but otherwise, I don't have fresh.
If I have fresh
whatever
mint
the
in my
hell.
house, it's the summertime and it's for cocktails.
It's
Right,
definitely
Mojitos.
summertime.
Again, these are 10 cooking rules that people always ignore. Unsalted butter and recipe. Some people just use salted butter all the time.
We only have unsalted butter, but if we had salted butter instead of unsalted,
Is it typical?
Salted
Is that
butter.
typical of like restaurant kitchens? Is it mostly unsalted? Did you add the salt?
It's most right because they're cooking
right.
professionally for you. But again, when you're at home,
I always
it's
get
like,
salted. I didn't know.
you're just gonna grab the butter you got. I don't
I'm
know.
with you. Like, I've had, I'm not positive I could, if I just, can you tell that big of a difference between salted and unsalted?
No, unless you literally take your hand and you're like eating butter like you guys would eat peanut butter, right?
Yeah.
But once you start cooking it, I mean, look, maybe in some deep baking world it really, really matters. But like, man, you're not even going to know.
Especially the way you eat it.
Yeah.
You know, like you have melted butter in a cup, right? You have shrimp that are covered in salt. the whole
Right,
thing.
you're not gonna
The
know.
salt's already there.
Right, or if I'm using butter in a pan, I'm cooking eggs or something in the morning.
It's
like
fine.
Yeah.
All right. This one, I'm going to guarantee almost everybody I know is guilty of it. Don't eat uncooked cookie dough.
Yeah, sorry.
Or like the
Sorry.
batter from a cake mix. Or
I don't know. The raw eggs, we get it. That's a
also,
risk.
don't put raw eggs in. The best Caesar salad you ever have has a raw
Right.
egg in it.
But yeah, I mean, that's the irony of it. They'll say like, hey, man, you don't want the raw cookie dough. And actually, apparently, it's not even the eggs. It's something with the flour, believe it or not.
I get it. I just... I don't,
Still eat
It is. It's
There'd be-
exactly
there'd be,
right.
like-
It is the
Yeah.
flour.
We'll
Yeah.
take the risk with
Yeah.
it.
and people, right, I mean, listen, I remember going and staying at my friend's sorority house. Like, those girls were just straight up eating tubes of cookie dough.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they're 1920, so they didn't care. But, like, right, like, there's a whole generation of people that would be dead.
Yeah, you know what? That's always
If it
been
were
Like,
that bad for you.
it can't be real.
that is a misnomer that I've always thought. I always thought it was the eggs, and it's not the eggs.
It's not the eggs, it's the flour.
It's the flour
Yeah.
that's got the crap in it.
Got to watch out for bad flour.
You do. Well, it has to be cooked.
Maybe they didn't sift it.
They probably didn't
No,
sift it.
they did all the things wrong. Now they're dead.
Salted
Now they're
butter.
dead, chef.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watch too many drug shows. Every time I think about somebody sifted something, I'm like, what's he mixing up there? Don't
Making cookies, goddammit.
Right.
I'm going to eat another one. Meth lab? It's a bakery, sir.
Don't cook with wine, tomatoes, or anything acidic in a cast iron pan.
Yeah, that's just to protect your pan, man.
All right, I don't have one.
Okay,
I don't
yeah, it's
know.
cast iron. You're just putting acid into it. You can kind of piece together the it'll start
Rust.
rusting out and all that. And
So you can break the rule. You just ruin your pan.
and granted, it's not like you ruin your pan if you do it once. It's over
but
time, right?
And I'm guessing since this is on the list, people must do this a common amount, and it can't. be
Sure.
over the
I mean,
pan
look, if that's
one
what the
time.
recipe says and you're cooking with the iron skillet or cast iron, you're not going to give it much thought. You put it in there. But again, unless you do it every single time you cook, you're not really going to
But like
destroy
anything
it.
else, look at that Tupperware where you put that spaghetti sauce in there and you froze it, and then you take it out.
That's a
like
good point.
You can't get the orange out. Like it's going into that metal.
Mike and I
Kicking its ass.
would also like to remind people that you still need to cook. Having a cast iron doesn't make your food good.
That is I don't know. A lot of people do think it's like the magic pill, but you're a bad cook.
Yeah, like, can't you taste the difference? Like, it tastes like a cooked Brussels sprout, Brev.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, people get and I get it. There's certain people could use them. They're great. But a lot of people get very excited, like, isn't this
I
unbelievable?
use
Like,
them for the char aspect.
Yeah,
it
like-
gets hot enough where you can put a char on.
Right. But if
Right,
you don't know
but
how to
if
cook,
you don't know how to cook
it
right,
doesn't make it.
You're just wasting money. And I'm like,
exactly.
okay.
It does not teach
you.
you.
cooked food in a pan, dude. Using olive oil while cooking instead of cheaper oils with higher smoke points.
What is a cheaper oil with a higher smoke point? Just canola?
You can use canola, like peanut oil actually has a higher flash point. That's what they use in
How
a lot
about
of deep
grapeseed
fryers.
oil?
Yeah.
I'm not sure in grapeseed, I love sesame oil, but I don't cook with it. That doesn't have the lowest flash points ever, and your food tastes like burns.
Well, olive oil is great, but right, I don't think I cook with it that often. But that's to say, people still
Sure.
do. And then throwing out the whole block of cheese when there's a little mold on it. Some people are like, just cut off the mold. Eat that cheese.
Did I say not to?
Generally, they say not to.
Gelte.
But given how cheese is made and how it's cultured and everything, like,
What do you think blue cheese is?
But
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what I'm
different
like-
kind of mold.
Yes, it is.
That
It is.
But
It
they're
is.
like, it is a mold, but it ain't that mold.
has anybody in here done it?
What's that? Cut off the
moldy piece of a hunk
yes,
of cheese. and then
abso-freaking
bake it around.
Once you get in the middle, man, it's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had people coming over.
They won't know. I'm cooking this. Head chef, thank you so much. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all of Macholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up in minutes, we'll drink a little toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. The first quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, there's a Chick-fil-A in Tennessee offering free food for a year for anyone that returns their stolen sign.
I saw that.
Yeah, apparently somebody found it like in a ditch somewhere laying upside down.
All right.
So there's probably a mad dash for people trying to recover that thing at this point. But, yeah.
Must be pretty valuable.
Well, sure.
I'm taking advantage of that. Free food for a year. Well, at least 4 or 5 times a week.
Let's go.
Even if it's just for a soda.
The problem is, it's just no offense, but just a sign.
I know. I don't understand.
Like, if you could I could fathom maybe people trying to steal like a Ronald McDonald.
Right, the actual
remember
statue.
Bob's Big Boy, right? People try to steal those. But, like, I don't know, it's just a sign.
It's a Chick-fil-A sign.
You got money. You can cover it.
Right. Don't draw attention to it. That makes it worse.
Now people can start stealing them.
Exactly, because now it's going to get stolen again so that they can hold another contest to get it returned for free food for a year.
I thought about that. That was the first thing I thought of.
Yep.
Or I'd go to another one and steal theirs.
There you go. Hey, McDonald's has released a new dessert, Chocolate Pretzel McFlurry.
That's what I saw with a caramel swirl.
I read about that yesterday. I'm like, all right.
I'm down.
I'll stop and get a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell and a couple of those.
There you go. I feel like McDonald's doesn't expand too much when it comes to desserts. I think that this is a very, very, very safe bet.
Yeah, I think they'll do fine with that.
This isn't one that you need to do a limited release. Open that thing up all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. TikTok users in Pakistan are in trouble after setting forest fires to make their videos more dramatic to get more views.
Wow.
Yeah.
That seems like a terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah, because they're going through a drought right now and a heat wave. So
it's almost as dumb.
It's all for the viewers, though.
It's using explosives at a baby reveal in a drought.
How about figuring out how to work CGI?
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. Learn something.
Can we make things that are entertaining that aren't destructive?
No.
A new study suggests that pugs face such serious health issues, they can no longer be considered a typical dog from a health perspective.
What should we call them then?
Right?
Well, bulldogs have gone through that for years, based on the way their cavities go.
Yep.
Face being all flat, like especially British. And
I just think they're basically saying that you can't treat them like you would a typical dog health-wise just because of all of the health issues they go through.
Well, it's the breeding, too.
Yeah, well,
like I said, because they've changed over centuries, so now their faces are like completely flat and like, yeah, I mean, the little things can barely breathe.
Exactly.
Yeah, my son was like, man, he loves pugs, loves pugs, wants to get a pug. And I said, bro, once you move out, you can get any dog you want. That's all. I'm not paying all this medical crap, and I don't feel like watching you cry when it dies.
Lady keep trying to get a pug. We're not doing that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look, the French bulldogs, like I have a friend, I watch hers. Like, I love that dog. It's a great dog, but it's like, there's so many like health bills and everything with those dogs.
That's right. Now,
a new study found that hugs don't help men with stress.
Say that again?
Well, they're still stressed.
Hugs don't help men with stress.
We appreciate the hug.
Right.
It doesn't change the situation.
Right. The weight's still on our shoulders to...
You're stressed because of the
Figure it
situation.
out.
When the situation is resolved, the stress will go away.
Right.
There's nothing you can do or say that
Hugs aren't bad if it's a feeling of sympathy. In other words, like, I'm sorry your dog died, dude.
Right.
You know,
but
like,
it doesn't make you feel better.
Can't do it. Yeah. It's
just
that's what
things.
it is.
Yeah. I have gratitude for your concern, but I'm still in the same boat.
Right.
I know you're drowning. I'm not going to save you. Let me just give you a hug. You're still screaming.
Bring it in, buddy. Hot Pockets is now selling cold pockets.
Cold pockets.
Cold pockets.
What is in their cold
Is that
pockets?
just like
Let me guess. Is this dessert, like pudding in the middle, or
I'm guessing it's like
ice cream in the middle?
turkey or ham rolled up.
He's
right.
not working on it. I can see in his eyes.
Miles, pulling the rug out from underneath me in my own segment.
Yeah. I got to see, like, you're looking like, I didn't even do it. I didn't even look at it.
I'm thinking delis. Making little deli sandwiches.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, little
I'm
deli
in. I would
pockets.
try. All right.
You know, grab a little.
It won't burn my mouth. It won't explode in the microwave.
There you go. And it doesn't have the, hard cold center and boiling outside.
Right.
So it's actually edible. There's an
I don't know why Hot Pockets don't get the same reverence that ramen noodles do. Because I feel like that period we're eating a lot of ramen noodles, like I feel like we just ate Hot Pockets all the time.
I'll tell you why. Because Hot Pockets still cost more.
Jeez. They do.
Ramen noodles is like you could buy 8,000 of me for $1.20. I literally sustained you. Hot Pockets was your treat, right?
Exactly.
Ramen noodles was porridge. Maybe you got sick of us, but man, we kept you alive. We're Hot Pockets. That's your big treat.
They're calling it the Deli Witch. And you can thaw it and just eat it cold, or you can heat it. So they have pepperoni and mozzarella on a soft roll, cheddar and ham on a soft roll, turkey and Colby on a soft roll, or a cheese melt. Yeah,
I was right.
It's not dessert. It's actual sandwich.
Yeah,
By the way, I want to apologize on behalf of this entire show where we said it's guys hugging us. Does not relieve stress. Someone does point out, mouth hug might work. That is true.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is a great stress reliever.
Also, nothing says I'm sorry like a mouth hug.
Oh, man. She was
real sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go to Reddit. There's an Ask Men forum online where someone raised an interesting question. What's something that's traditionally masculine, but as a man, you actually hate? And with that, it's time for...
The Men's Room Top 10.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah!
The Men's Room Top 10.
Traditionally masculine things that men actually hate. Like suspenders.
That's not really masculine.
Usually women in suspenders.
Sometimes.
No. Right. Makes it masculine.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So here are the traditionally masculine things that men actually hate. Number 10, rejecting a local anesthetic at a dentist or a doctor.
Who would do that?
I do.
What? Why?
You don't take the anesthesia?
Do you need some for this? No, I'm good. It's fine.
Well, hell yeah, I need something, man.
I just don't want to bother anybody. Plus, it's money that they're shooting into me, so I don't want that.
It's not that you're bothering them. It's part of what they do.
I know.
If they're asking you for one, you probably need it.
That's
For
a good
the
point.
procedure.
Doctors rarely offer
They're
you
not like,
pain relief.
I'm just going to throw oxygen
Right.
anymore. They don't do that. So if they're saying, like, you might need a local does not get you high.
Right.
It just numbs the area that they're working on.
Exactly. Number 9, doing stupid, risky for the adrenaline rush.
Well, I mean, you hate it when you get older, but the adrenaline rush is what you're looking for when you're younger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I get older, I'm like, I don't need it.
For me, it was just more the accomplishment.
Yeah. Ride a
City
city bus in a different town.
Oh, my God.
Whoa!
There's your adrenaline rush.
Trying to figure out the routes. That's exciting.
Walk around third, just handing on your cell phone.
Yeah.
If you're in New York and you don't know the subway system, try to figure it out.
Oh, God. These are traditionally masculine things that men actually hate. Number 8, driving the biggest, loudest truck that you can or can't afford. Not down by my neck of the woods. Hey.
I don't, I don't have a car. I'm not a huge automobile person to begin with, but I don't get the truck thing. I have so many friends that, like, at the 40, they all got trucks, and it's like, you don't do anything. You don't need,
No,
you don't do anything involving the truck.
You don't do anything they showed in the commercial.
It's almost like
you were not bailing hay, you're not tugging anything. You're not doing anything.
You know what you're not doing, though? You're not moving your 21-year-old friend.
Right.
They probably feel like, this is the safe zone. I can finally get a truck and not have to move everybody every 6 months when they get kicked out of their apartment.
See, I don't mind when people have trucks. I kind of like the look of trucks myself. Yeah, there's a lot of versatility when it comes to trucks. Mm-hmm. But from time to time, there is that massive truck that rolls by, and I look at it as like, that thing is way too doggone shiny to actually use it as a truck.
Right.
You're not doing a doggone thing with that other than being loud.
You need to be pulling something.
Yes.
To have a truck that, is working.
You gotta be pulling.
You have a camper. You have a camper. You got a boat.
Get whatever you want. I don't care what you drive. It means nothing to me. If you want a truck, get a truck. But when it's a shiny ass 350, like, what are you using that truck for? But some people, legitimately, they just like trucks. I mean, there's nothing to read into.
Oh, no, I disagree with the list. Like, I have no issue with trucks. I'm just saying, for me, like, right, traditionally it's supposed to be like, all guys love trucks. I'm like,
I don't know if this is on the list, Mike, but somebody here says, dealing with spiders and bugs.
Oh, no kidding. Why is that my job?
Yeah, like, what? Not, man.
Got it. I'm creeped out by the damn thing, too. Yeah, I know I can kill it. Yeah, I know that he can't lift me up after I step on it, but
he's inviting me for a fight.
Do you have, you can't kill that person in your home?
So what?
So, for example, my daughter, she's very, very my daughter. So we can see a big wolf spider, and she's like, we're gonna put that in a cup, Dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in a cup? How the hell am I gonna get that in a cup?
So my daughter, when she was younger, there was a huge one on the ceiling. I'm not having it, right? So it's like, Daddy, you can't kill it. I'm like, baby, listen. Said you're wrong. That was it. We don't have the conversation anymore. Yeah. I'm like, look, Daddy does not play that.
There was that argument.
Right, I'm sorry, man. Listen, if it's got more than 4 legs and it's in the house, it's dead. That is how that works. And there are no exceptions to this rule.
There was that argument a couple times, and then it turned into, don't let me see it when you kill it.
Okay, close your eyes.
But then there are others where it's like, kill that damn thing. If there's ants, if there's wasps, they're dead.
If you got more than 4 legs, you're in the house, you're definitely dead. If you got 4 legs and you're not one of my pets, you might get a shovel to the face.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, either way, like, hey, man, there's a limited number of living creatures that I can visually see in my home and be okay with.
Number 7 of the
and if they're on my ceiling or wall, they gotta die.
All right, if I'm in the woods and there's a snake, I'll probably freeze. Yeah. But yeah, and bugs or anything, I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
But here's my thing. If you can hang upside down effortlessly on my ceiling, you must die.
Yeah.
And we're in an area, fortunately, where the bugs aren't really the problem.
Right.
Nope. Number 7, not smiling when someone takes your photo and being stoic all the time.
Well, why would you do that?
Right, why do you not smile in your photos?
I always mug
I've never understood that. From time to time, there's that person that's just, they're too good to smile or too good to take a photo. It's like,
they're too cool, man.
Then step the hell out of the way. Go away. I don't want you in the photo.
Yeah, I think it's just also, like, I think this list's just a lot of the old school stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you're not supposed to smile. Like, it's okay.
I only don't smile when my mother takes pictures because it makes her so mad. And then eventually I smile because it makes me laugh. Steven! Why do you always do this?
I've been running this game for 15 years.
Number 6, insecurities, like not ordering a fruity cocktail, wearing pink, or holding a purse.
Oh, I don't care anything about that. No. If I find something on the menu, I'm doing it.
My uncle broke me of this early. My uncle is like the manliest man. He hunts anything. He fishes and catches everything. He can cook the best food out there. He's got the greenest thumb that you could ever make. The guy's a phenomenal carpenter. He's got his own business. He is the man's man. And he will sit down at a bar and order whatever fruity blended multicolored cocktail that he can find.
Mike, I would wear a fanny pack if it was fashionable. I don't have any problem holding a woman's purse.
Right. I don't care.
It's more embarrassing to have a fanny pack on.
I hold the latest purse and everybody knows it's not mine.
Right.
Hey, man, I went through Malta. Celebrating my 50th birthday, the one deal I made before we went on the cruise, my buddy goes, all right, can I pick what you're going to wear when we get to Malta off the cruise ship? And I said yes. Okay, so I had no idea what he had planned until that day. And this is like the 6th day of the trip. And it was a silk-screened, like, cruise ship captain's shirt.
Nice.
So it looks like you're wearing, like, the white.
Sure, you're the captain.
And then the captain's hats.
Yeah.
One was neon green, one was pink, and then he got me a rainbow fanny pack. Now, to his credit, he also dressed like this, okay? So, God, I got to show you guys a picture sometime. But when I first put it on, I'm like, I'm going to kill him. We're walking through Malta. You know what I mean? So the tourists are doing all this thing, and we look like that. One of the credits of being from the United States is people just assume we're obnoxious.
Yeah.
No one batted an eye at.
Nope.
Once they heard our accent.
American.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But then it got worse because I said, man, people think we dress like this.
Yeah, because you are.
Well, it's also like Europe.
Bro,
there's
trust
a lot
me.
more fashion choices or fashion risk in Europe than I think we take here.
Let me tell you. That ain't one of them they take. You're right.
But I have a fanny pack, but I just wear it around my chest.
Bam.
There you go. Traditionally masculine things that men actually hate. Number 5, chewing tobacco.
Well, don't chew tobacco if you don't like it.
Right. You don't
God
have to.
damn, man.
Number 4, not using shampoo or being loose with your personal hygiene. Again, just be...
Take care of yourself.
Right.
I mean, if you're loose with the hygiene because you don't care, good on you.
Clean
but
yourself.
if you do... I smell like whatever.
I guess that's going to be super old school. I don't remember that one either.
Yeah.
Like I smell
you know what I mean? Like everything on that list I get. Like I know dudes like, you drink White Claws?
Right.
Like all that stuff. I've never heard somebody be like, what are you, showered? What are you, lady?
Right. What's that shampoo? You cleaning your hair?
Yeah, right? I mean, I'm like, that one seems like a stretch.
Number 3, fighting. Why do I have to take care of your business, man?
You only fight, at this point, you're only going to fight if you're that angry. You don't have to defend anyone's life. Not everyone has to be Will Smith, right? You know what I'm saying? And trust me, if The Rock cracked Chris Rock's joke, Will Smith would not have gone up there to defend his wife.
That's fact.
Well, not only that, but
so don't act like you're defending her honor. It's that you thought you could get a slap at Chris Rock.
People would walk outside without the threat of being shot or stabbed or anything else.
Sure.
So because of that, now the laws are to the point where if I throw a French fry at you from across the room, that's assault.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no point in doing that.
Assault to French fry.
You're just going to be in jail. Yes.
Right.
Assault to the French fry. Yes.
That's got it. Number 2, I disagree. Drinking black coffee. Some men don't want to hide their milk and sweetener.
I don't care either way. I had 2 cups today. The first one had milk and sweetener. The second one, straight black.
I actually do like a black coffee. From time to time, I'll get my candy
Mike
coffee.
always says he likes his coffee like he likes his women, hot, black, and wet.
Fact.
And caffeinated.
For some reason, during the week, I drink black coffee. But, on the weekends, get a latte.
Yeah,
a little.
Exactly. Just a little sweetness in there. But this is the most traditionally masculine thing that men absolutely hate. Trying to crush someone's hand when shaking it. It's just a greeting.
Come on. Yeah. We're just meeting. Why am I trying to hurt you?
Bump at this point.
But you don't want to be limp wrist guy.
Right.
No, you don't want to do that.
That's just all you have to do is just don't be dead fish guy. Just
so if we're going to do the fist bump, then let's just start throwing punches into the guy's hand.
I would say the other thing, too, and this is probably, I'm going to be the old school guy here, stand up.
Yes.
What do you mean?
If you're meeting somebody new and you're going to...
always.
You stand up,
if you're sitting in a chair and just kind of put out your hand, it's like, that's, in my mind, that's rude.
I know. I agree with you.
Stand your ass up.
Right.
A woman in Rochester tried to evade police, and you will never guess how she got caught.
How did she get caught?
I'll tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, it's going to contest online for Profile This at 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.